First off, can you tell me a little bit about yourself, like where you were raised, like what part of the country you were raised in, and all that stuff?
Um, I was born in Detroit, really in River Rouge,
Okay.
and then we moved to Lapeer,
Oh.
Michigan,
Okay.
before I even started school.
Okay.
So when I started school, I started in Lapeer
Oh, all right.
in a one-room K through 8 grade school.
So you grew up most of your younger life in Lapeer.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
What would you say has been the most significant change in American sports since you were a kid?
The most significant change in American sports.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just off the top of my head, I'm sure that compensation reimbursement for players
Yeah.
is probably
Yeah.
one of the biggest ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You could talk about commitment, but that varies depending on an individual.
Right.
So
Right.
I would say probably the number of people that are involved in watching and following the sports plus
Yeah.
the compensation situation
Right.
is
Right.
hugely different than.
Well, yeah, with the technology and more people being able to
Yep.
watch from
Yep.
greater distances
Yeah, either
away.
television or whatever way. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, and then when did you first become interested in sports?
Oh, grief. I mean, I can't name, I mean, ever since I can remember, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, when we were in school in the, in the country schools in K through 8, we played other country schools, K through 8, and softball and stuff like that. So, I mean, it goes back that far. And of course, within the country school, where you're playing Red Rover, you probably
Yeah.
never heard of those.
I've heard of Red Rover.
Yeah, and Innie over the building and things like that,
Yeah.
And I don't know whether the rest of them were. There were games that we played. As far as I don't know. I just I've always had an interest in sports. They used to play a lot of fast pitch softball
Okay.
in Lapeer when I was a kid, and the teams. I mean, Lapeer certainly had a team. Midland Dow up in Midland, Bay City, Saginaw.
Mm-hmm.
All of those towns had teams, softball, fast pitch.
So you would travel around and play those teams?
No, I wasn't playing it. This was observer kind of a thing.
Okay.
But that really whet my appetite because because people that I knew were playing on those teams,
Mm-hmm.
and so I used to watch those, and then like I say, then we started playing on the in the country schools. We started playing other schools.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So from there, it was just a growing thing, and I used to pitch, some in the grade school stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but that's, and then of course, I mean, when I got up into high school, I never was particularly good at basketball because the people in the city played so much basketball.
Right. Yeah.
And coming from a K through 8, why we were just skill-wise, we were way behind the scene. Now,
Yeah.
baseball, football, golf, stuff like that, I
Mhm.
held my own there.
Yeah.
Because I played on varsity on all 3 of those.
Mhm.
But basketball, not so. I couldn't catch up to that.
Okay.
So, but it was just a growing interest all of my life, as far
Mhm.
as I know. As a family, we used to pitch horseshoes and things like that.
Yeah.
It's amazing how competitive that could get.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
but that was a Sunday afternoon activity, pitching
Mhm.
horseshoes. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Who was the most important athlete when you were young? In terms of probably on like a national stage, who was the most important?
Well, of course, this being Michigan, why Al Kaline pops into my mind immediately
Mhm.
with the Detroit Tigers.
Right.
And then, so he probably is the most outstanding.
Mhm.
And he was a good athlete. I mean, he was a very good hitter, and he had a very good arm from the outfield.
Yeah.
And I can remember, that numerous times he would get people at the plate who were trying to score from the bases
Yeah.
because he had a very good arm. So,
Mhm.
but that's probably the most outstanding.
Okay. Did you get to see him play live ever? Like, did you go to
Yeah,
games? Okay.
yeah. The first game I ever went to was we went got on a train in Lapeer and went down to Detroit. A friend of mine and his mother and dad, and we went down to the game, and he was playing that day. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so that was that was in his heyday. So.
Yeah.
But oh grief, others I don't know. I mean Norm Cash, Kel. I mean, I'm thinking Tiger-wise now.
Right.
Of course, Bob
Right.
Feller, the the fast pitch. I mean
Mhm.
the baseball.
Yeah.
He was very fast,
Mhm.
and the Babe was it was sort of before my time kind of thing.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
Babe Ruth.
Mhm.
But
So was that
Ty Cobb and
was he still playing at all when you were a kid, or had he kind of already been?
I think maybe it was probably down at the end of his career.
Okay.
John, I think so.
Mhm.
Yeah. But Ty Cobb certainly, and
Yeah. Mhm.
there are a number of different guys that were outstanding at that point.
Yeah.
But I remember listening to him talk, for goodness sakes, and like when Al's on the radio and they just talk about the difference in wage now, because
Mhm.
they were paid 30 and 40,000 was
Yeah.
probably a big price
Yeah,
tag there.
yeah.
And they're getting paid millions now.
Oh, yeah.
So
The lowest guys are getting paid
yeah.
thousands. So you said you went to a game and saw K-Line. You saw
K-Line, yeah.
K-Line.
Yeah.
So how would you say, like, going to games back then to see a Tigers game would compare to, like, now going to see, like, Comerica Park? Like, how does that change from back then to what it is now?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's it's much more commercial now.
Oh yeah.
With the hot dogs and everything else that they sell, and all of the various things that they're merchandising and things like that. That's far more into the game now than than it was back then.
Yeah.
Because you were there basically to watch ball.
Right.
You
You have all that.
You were focused on the game, and now it's whatever you like. Why we got it for you. So
Mhm.
so it's much more of a
Yeah.
It just seems to me like when we would go back there, you were much more involved in the game, because
Mhm.
you were there to see the game, and it's
Right.
so there's just a lot of other add-ons now that not that that's good or bad, but it's different as far
Mhm.
as comparing what it was then and now. So
Yeah.